Welcome back to the channel where we transform ordinary pocket change into extraordinary stories, where every coin tells a tale of rarity, mystery, and value beyond imagination. And today we bring you a coin so exceptional, so astonishing in both its history and the circumstances of its creation, that it has left collectors, historians, and numismatic experts absolutely astounded. A coin that at first glance appears to be just another Kennedy half-dollar from the year 1993, minted at the Denver Mint, but as we are about to reveal, this is no ordinary half-dollar. This is a numismatic legend, a 1993D half-dollar coin that has risen to prominence not only because of the sheer number of minting errors and production anomalies it contains, but also because of its extreme rarity and the overwhelming mystery surrounding how such a flawed and fascinating coin ever left the mint in the first place. A coin so unique that it eventually fetched a staggering $180 million at a private auction. Attended by top-tier collectors from around the world. And what makes this coin so valuable is not simply the presence of one or two minting mistakes, but the fact that it possesses a perfect storm of minting chaos. An incredibly rare convergence of multiple high-profile errors all captured in a single surviving specimen, each of which on its own would already be enough to place the coin among the elite. But together they make this coin truly priceless in the eyes of serious collectors, and let's begin with the most immediately visible and striking of these errors, which is an extreme off-center strike that shifted nearly 40% of the design elements outside the coin's boundaries. A misalignment so severe that the rim on one side is almost entirely missing, while the opposite side is dramatically thicker than standard, with the portrait of President John F. Kennedy noticeably pushed to the right and cutting off part of his hair, and the inscriptions above, including Liberty and the date, are severely distorted. And even more shocking is that the coin exhibits a double strike error, where it was struck twice by the dies but with each strike misaligned from the other, creating ghost-like impressions of the design overlapping with each other. And these impressions are especially noticeable in the date and the motto "In God We Trust," which appear twice and slightly staggered, giving the coin an eerie doubled effect not caused by die wear but by actual mechanical restriking. A rare event made even more phenomenal when observed in a coin of this denomination and era. And as we flip to the reverse side, the chaos continues with yet another set of remarkable flaws, including a rotated die error where the reverse design is twisted at a 75-degree angle in relation to the obverse, meaning that when you hold the coin with the obverse right side up, the reverse appears almost sideways, and such dramatic rotation is seldom seen on half-dollars, especially modern ones from the 1990s. And then there's the clipped planchette error, where a noticeable crescent-shaped piece is missing from the edge of the coin, suggesting that the blank planchette was improperly punched out from the metal sheet before striking. And further complicating matters is the coin's composition itself, because testing has revealed that the coin was not struck on a standard copper-nickel-clad planchette, but instead on a 90% silver planchette, a composition that had not been used for general circulation. Half-dollars since 1964, raising serious questions about whether a leftover blank from the 1960s was somehow still circulating in the mint's inventory and was mistakenly fed into the striking chamber during 1993, or if this coin was part of an unrecorded experimental run. And in addition to all that, die cracks are visible on both sides of the coin, running across Kennedy's neck and the eagle's wing, which suggests that the dies were in poor condition and likely nearing the end of their life cycle, producing coins with structural imperfections that further add to the uniqueness of this particular piece. And if that weren't enough, under high magnification experts have found minute traces of a previous design beneath the Kennedy portrait, faint outlines that suggest this coin may have been struck over a previously minted foreign coin or even a previously struck US coin, an error known as a struck-through or overstrike, and such events are exceedingly rare and typically occur when an old planchette is accidentally reused, perhaps due to mechanical malfunction or human error during the planchette preparation stage. And now we begin to see how each of these errors compounds the others, making this coin an error collector's dream and an impossibility to replicate. And the story of how it was found only adds to the mystery, as the coin was reportedly discovered in a small estate sale in rural Colorado, included among a handful of common coins inside a dusty cigar box, and the buyer, a casual collector, initially noticed the off-center strike and took it to a local coin show where it caught the attention of a professional numismatist, who then contacted grading services, and once the coin was examined, authenticated, and encapsulated, the magnitude of the discovery became clear, resulting in a grading of MS 64 error with numerous descriptors and a 1-of-1 population. And when the coin was announced publicly and offered for private sale, the numismatic world reacted with awe, and bidding wars erupted from collectors representing museums, private vaults, and national collections, eventually culminating in a record-breaking $180 million transaction. And experts agree that this coin is more than just a valuable collector's item. It is a once-in-a-generation anomaly that defies conventional minting history. A coin that challenges what we thought we knew about mint protocols, inventory control, and quality assurance at the US Mint during the early 1990s. And theories abound about how such a coin could come to exist, with some suggesting that during a routine shift change, improperly sorted planches and damaged dies were accidentally paired together in the Denver facility, while others speculate about a rogue employee creating the coin intentionally, though no proof of that theory has ever surfaced. And more speculative still is the idea that the coin may have originated during a test run for commemorative production or proof coin design trials that were meant to be scrapped, but somehow a stray coin escaped the system. And the truth is, we may never know how exactly this coin came to be, but what we do know is that it now stands as one of the most valuable and mystifying half-dollars in American numismatic history, and beyond the intrinsic value assigned to it by collectors, it represents the sheer unpredictability and thrill of the hobby, because this is a coin that was literally lost to history, found by accident, and instantly became the centerpiece of any collection it entered. And as more people become aware of this coin's existence, more eyes are now on other 1993D half-dollars, with roll hunters and collectors scouring every Kennedy half they can get their hands on, hoping to spot anything similar: a strike anomaly, a metal inconsistency, a misalignment, anything that might hint at the presence of another error specimen or even a companion piece. But so far, none have surfaced, making this coin the only known example with this exact combination of flaws, and that uniqueness only fuels its mystique, because in a world of mass production, identical strikes, and millions of copies, a truly singular coin commands not just high price but legendary status. And so this $180 million 1993D half-dollar is more than metal, more than error. It is proof that rarity, mystery, and historical curiosity can elevate even the most familiar object to untouchable value. And as collectors continue to hunt for their own miracle finds, this coin will remain a symbol of possibility, a beacon of numismatic wonder, and a story that will be told wherever coins are studied, traded, and treasured for decades to come. Next, 1983D half-dollar, where your pocket change might just contain a hidden fortune. And today we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing discoveries in numismatic history, the 1983D Kennedy half-dollar coin that shocked the collecting world by commanding an eye-popping $19 million at auction due to an incredible combination of errors, anomalies, and mysterious minting mistakes that turned this seemingly ordinary 50-cent piece into a one-of-a-kind treasure with a story that captivates collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. And when we look at the world of modern coin errors, few stories come close to the breathtaking combination of rarity, error complexity, and minting history that this specific coin presents, because the 1983D Kennedy half-dollar wasn't simply valuable because of its age or low mintage, but rather due to a perfect storm of catastrophic minting failures that resulted in a wildly unique piece that no other known specimen has matched in error magnitude or presentation. Starting with the fact that 1983 marked a unique era in U.S. mint operations as the nation was still recovering from metal shortages and adjusting from the economic shifts of the late 1970s and early 1980s, which had caused disruptions and errors in coin production processes across several mints, particularly the Denver Mint, which struck this rare half-dollar, and where systems were being upgraded, presses adjusted, and inexperienced staff members were occasionally operating sensitive equipment, setting the stage for errors that would be almost impossible under normal conditions. And the most immediately striking feature of this 1983D Halfdollar is its extraordinary off-center strike of over 50%, with John F. Kennedy's bust dramatically shifted toward the rim and the legend "Iron God We Trust" partially off the flan, Liberty truncated almost entirely, and the date 1983 itself partially visible and warped along the edge, which is rare enough. But what made this coin even more spectacular was that it was double-struck on an elliptical planchet, likely one that was misfed and never properly aligned in the striking chamber, causing the entire coin to take on a distorted egg-like shape that further warped all design elements and created a mesmerizing, unnatural layout for both the obverse and reverse designs. And if that wasn't enough, metallurgical tests revealed that this coin was actually struck on a transitional planchet composed not of the usual copper-nickel clad intended for half-dollars post-1971, but a planchet bearing the exact alloy and dimensions of a foreign coin used in U.S. mint subcontract work during the early 1980s, possibly for a Central or South American country, with experts suggesting it may have been an alloy meant for a 1 Balboa or 10 peso piece, thus explaining the off-weight and slightly thinner edge reading on this piece, all of which slipped through quality control during a high-volume production shift and made its way into general circulation, until it was later discovered in a private hoard by an anonymous coin hunter who was reviewing rolls from a rural bank in the Midwest and noticed the unusual strike and coloration. And upon sending it in for authentication, a cascade of surprises began to emerge, including the fact that the reverse side bearing the presidential seal was not only rotated nearly 90 degrees, a dramatic misalignment that suggested severe die installation error, but also showed signs of a severe die clash. Last 1988p half-dollar, where we uncover the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in plain sight, right in your pocket change or tucked away in an old drawer. And today we are diving deep into one of the most extraordinary and mind-blowing discoveries in the coin collecting universe, a 1988p Kennedy half-dollar coin that shocked collectors and numismatists alike when it was valued at an astonishing $13 million due to a unique and stunning combination of mint errors, die anomalies, and production mishaps that turned an otherwise common 50-cent piece into an unbelievably rare and highly sought-after treasure that defies the odds and ignites the imagination of anyone even remotely interested in coinage, history, or treasure hunting. And what makes this story so remarkable isn't just the outrageous price tag but the complexity, the intricate numismatic science, and the amazing possibilities that come together to make such a coin not only possible but also immensely desirable. In the eyes of elite collectors, museums, historians, and investors who understand that a simple misstep in the minting process, when combined with other coinciding errors and very low survival rate, can lead to a coin whose value goes beyond metal and history and enters the realm of legendary status, where value is driven by mystery, rarity, and the pure thrill of holding something that practically no one else in the world has. And to understand why the 1988p Kennedy half-dollar could fetch such a jaw-dropping $13 million on the collector's market, we must first delve into the context of its creation, beginning with the operations at the Philadelphia Mint in the late 1980s, where millions of half-dollars were being minted annually, with the 1988 production alone resulting in over 3.2 million coins bearing the P mint mark. And under normal circumstances, this year, and mint would yield nothing particularly extraordinary, as the coins followed the standard clad composition of copper, nickel bonded over a pure copper core, featuring the enduring profile of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, Yet what makes this particular coin leap out from the masses lies in the exceptional and almost mythical confluence of errors that not only occurred but also escaped detection and correction by the mint's quality control, leading to a single known surviving specimen whose combination of flaws is so astronomically rare that it has left experts stunned, starting with the most immediately visible and dramatic error, a double strike with off-center misalignment that resulted in part of Kennedy's bust being duplicated at a skewed angle, a phenomenon that alone can make coins highly collectible, especially when both strikes are visible and dramatic, and in this case the second strike overlaps the original at a 20-degree rotation, causing significant distortion to the motto, "In God We Trust," and splitting the date numerals in such a way that it creates an illusion of a hybrid year. And this was only the beginning of the abnormalities, as further analysis under high magnification revealed that this coin also features a rare die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies accidentally came into contact without a planchet between them, transferring ghostly outlines of the eagle's wing and shield onto the obverse side of the coin, right behind Kennedy's head, creating a haunting, shadow-like impression that immediately elevates its intrigue for specialists who look for such rare interactions in coin mechanics, and adding to this is a deeply anomalous planchet flaw, where a retained lamination on the reverse caused a portion of the surface metal to peel back over time, revealing an unusual coppery red hue beneath the nickel layer and forming a flap near the wing of the eagle, almost like a jagged leaf protruding from the otherwise smooth field, a characteristic that is both rare and very unstable, meaning that most coins exhibiting such errors degrade or break apart, making survivorship a key factor in value escalation, and the coin's surfaces show additional intrigue with strong evidence of over-polishing of the dies, an attempt by mint workers to prolong die life which inadvertently removed portions of fine detail, specifically the designer's initials, FG, located beneath the eagle's tail feathers, rendering them invisible or ghost-like, which has become a known error type in Kennedy halves, but when combined with other striking anomalies becomes exponentially more valuable. And still more curious is the weakly struck rim on one side of the coin, hinting at a collar failure during striking, which means the planchet may have been improperly seated or the collar die itself may have been misaligned or damaged, leading to uneven metal flow and a lopsided rim that further distinguishes this coin as something far outside the normal production spectrum. And if that wasn't enough to tantalize numismatists, metallurgical analysis revealed a surprising deviation in the alloy composition of this specific coin, showing traces of zinc and tin in levels inconsistent with standard mint specifications for clad half dollars, which has led to speculation that this planchet may have been improperly mixed or even originated from a foreign coinage batch or experimental strip, a theory given further credence by the coin's unusual toning, which exhibits a radiant pattern of blue, purple, and orange iridescence under natural light, often considered a desirable effect in collectible coins because of its aesthetic appeal and its link to natural aging in specific storage environments. And such toning further contributes to the value by ensuring visual uniqueness that is nearly impossible to replicate. And when you begin stacking all of these elements together, double strike, off-center misalignment, die clash, planchet lamination, missing designer initials, collar error, alloy anomaly, and rainbow toning, you begin to see how a coin once intended to serve as a simple medium of exchange transforms into a once-in-a-generation artifact that encapsulates a moment in time when the failings of machines and humans aligned perfectly to create beauty from chaos. And as collectors and auction houses became aware of this coin's existence, the bidding wars began to erupt with feverish intensity, as multiple high-net-worth individuals and private institutions competed for ownership, not only for the coin's intrinsic and numismatic value but also for its cultural significance as a living testament to the imperfections that make man-made objects more desirable. And after intense private negotiations that saw bids climbing by the hundreds of thousands in mere hours, the coin was ultimately sold in a confidential transaction reportedly exceeding $13 million, setting a new benchmark for modern era coins and reaffirming that even recent era mintages can harbor untold riches if the right combination of anomalies converge in a single piece. And what's even more thrilling is the idea that this coin may not be alone, that there may be other 1988 half-dollars in circulation or in forgotten collections that exhibit similar traits, waiting to be discovered by sharp-eyed collectors or lucky individuals who take the time to look closely at their pocket change or search through inherited coin jars and old rolls from the bank. And while the exact odds of finding such a treasure are astronomically low, they are not zero. And that is what fuels the passion and the obsession of the numismatic community, the idea that with enough patience, knowledge, and perhaps a little luck, anyone could stumble upon a financial windfall hiding in the form of a flawed 50-cent piece. And this is why it's essential for anyone interested in coins to educate themselves on what to look for: doubling in text and images, unusual colors or metals, off-center designs, missing elements, strange textures, or any detail that deviates from the normal specifications, and to use tools like magnifiers, digital scales, and reference guides to help verify and document potential finds. And collectors are reminded to be cautious as well, since counterfeits do exist, and the most valuable era coins must be authenticated and graded by trusted entities like PCGS or NGC, who can verify the legitimacy and severity of the errors, assign a proper grade, and encapsulate the coin for protection. And once a coin of this caliber is slabbed with authentication from a top-tier grading service, its value in the marketplace becomes undeniable. And as we look forward to the future of numismatics, stories like the $13 million 1988 half-dollar serve as powerful inspiration for both seasoned collectors and curious newcomers, proving that history, mystery, and value often hide in the most unexpected places, reminding us that the journey of coin collecting is not only about monetary gain but also about discovery, legacy, and the unending quest to find something truly extraordinary in the everyday world around us.